The importance of data in today's cybersecurity and other security domains is becoming more important, as we all know. Obtaining data and the source of the data has to be trusted. Without that trust, any small link in a chain can be broken. So at the lowest level, all organizational supply chains and data integrity can be compromised by any small deviation or lack of trust in the data that is received. Your business management system, it's a bit like your skin. The ISO standards help you control the externalities that you'll be facing in your data world and making sure that those externalities are controlled and so that your business can operate just like your body. So everything relies on our skin to protect us. And so what the ISO standards are helping you control those externalities by understanding them and then making sure the various procedures and processes that support your business are operating efficiently. To use a quad chart design, which is you're familiar with in defense, so the information. So if we start from the data, goes into information, which becomes knowledge, which becomes wisdom. It's all based on data. But to get the data right, you have to make sure the information security is correct. So ISO 27001 is the Information Security Management System standard, and it's based on a process approach. The reason for process approach is that that's how a business runs. The important part for all defense organizations and those suppliers that want to get into defense is that you have to understand your context, your situation. And that's one of the reasons why in ISO management system standards, context is the first requirement. To understand that context changes the way that you design your management system, which you already have in place. It just needs to be documented the way, if you want to get certified. It focuses on the customer and other stakeholder needs and expectations. And within that, the analysis of the risks and opportunities that you may be facing in your business. To make a decision then, on the right-hand side, the customers and what markets you're trying to satisfy. What supply chain risks that you have that your suppliers, as we all know, can provide you products and services, but also data in regards RFID, QR codes, barcodes, and other information about their product or service into your supply chain. Likewise, your IT and process architecture is the means whereby this information is captured and used within your processes, and that the owners of the business can demonstrate leadership and support by providing the right resources to make that process work. The analysis. Organizations that are probably undertaking a deployment program like Lean or some strategic deployment activity like Ocean planning, which has been around for some time, can deploy this information through the whole organization, but not only just deploy it, but also allow it to percolate up so that any information that comes from the bottom goes through the organization cleanly and is communicated to the management team to make the right decisions based on the data integrity. So when you're documenting your management system, it's around your business processes. It's not around the requirements of any external standard like ISO 27000 or 9000. It's around your business processes. Those processes, like in statistics, have to be stable. And that before you go into a hospital to get treatment, the nurses in the emergency room would say, let's stabilize the patient. As we remember from MASH, if we stabilize the patient, we know what their system is. Remember, back to the skin, every system is different, and then we can make them capable. The last part on that analysis is about people. The job descriptions should refer to the procedures within the processes that job is to work. And for those that know something about roles and accountabilities and support and communication information, the RASCI is very important. So your job description should not be just a bunch of bullet points. They should be referring to the procedures, the technology, the systems that job has to perform within a process, and within a process is within a system. Execution. So now that we've done a lot of information here about so-called processes, we have to audit. The internal audits are obviously something which is important to demonstrate to an external second or third party. So the second party is your customer. The third party is a systems certification body, hopefully accredited by JASANS. And that performance They want to see the performance of your corrective actions, that you're clearly identifying the problem. We use a thing called FO, the fault, the object, the extent, and maybe even what is going to be the stability or the standard of that process. And of course, the whole purpose of all this is about reducing or mitigating risk. And for some of you may be familiar with failure mode and effect analysis, process control plans. And of course, this all leads up into the management having a good review of the business. So that's kind of one summary of maximizing the value from your quality systems in the information domain. I just thought I'd share with you what the Department of Defense in regards to Capability Acquisition Sustainment Group business framework has, because they have a process view. What is on the right-hand side is also a process map. This is not to say this is how it should look, but it's just to show you that if you want to make sure that your products and service integrate with the Department of Defense in New Zealand or Australia or Defense Prime, you have to define your processes. And that's part of the Smart Buyer program for Department of Defense CASG. And there is the link for you. Just to present all this in one little quad chart, as you know, this is a small manufacturer of 35 people up in Newcastle in New South Wales. And you provide the information, the data that you are certified is one thing, as you can see by their certification, but also who you supply and your suppliers. And finally, just to summarize our session regards the idea, I've put down into what they call the 3 horizons. So on our presentations, we had a range of topics which are on the left. And as we go through the business of making this change during the COVID period, but also how to pivot, that just gives you a bit of a view about what you can do. Importantly, on the top right-hand side, you do the planning from right to left, and you do the implementation from left to right. So hopefully we can survive this pandemic period, isolation period, and obviously review our business models and offerings and sustain the resilience and capability for what we all want to do in regards having good data to make good decisions in defence.